You sacrifice a knight on move 4. Your opponent panics, and the chaos begins. Today we're breaking down the Halloween Gambit, how to play it, how Grandmasters use it, and how to destroy it. E-pawns out, knights out, calm and peaceful. But wait, a knight sacrifice on move 4? Yep, welcome to the Halloween Gambit. Boom! White says, trick or treat, sacrificing a knight right out of the opening. This is the Halloween Gambit, and it's not for the faint of heart. The knight sacrifice buys space and time. The goal, push those black knights back to the shadows. And here comes the first chase. D4, the knight gets booted. D5, white pushes forward, and the knight is forced to retreat once again, losing valuable time. E5, now the other knight gets kicked. No time to rest, everyone's getting evicted from the center. Hold on a second. The queen steps in, trying to stop the humiliation by pinning the e-pawn to the king. But white mirrors with the queen, breaking the pin. The knight retreat is delayed, and somehow things just got a little worse for black. And there it is. The knight goes back to the shadows. Knight to b5. Oh my God, black's in a total dilemma. The pressure is real. Look what's coming next. And it's not pretty. d6? Oh no, that's a blunder. Black's trying to dodge the fork, but it's already too late. Total chaos, and the next move is pure pain. Watch this. Boom. Knight to c7. The knight leaps straight into the fire, sacrificing itself for maximum devastation. The king is forced to move, the rook's hanging, and the entire position collapses in seconds. This isn't chess anymore. It's a demolition scene. The queen takes, but it doesn't matter. White's pawns are already marching forward like an unstoppable army. Every move opens another crack in black's defense, and the king has nowhere safe to hide. Look at this. The e-pawn captures on d6. Check. But it's not just a check. It's also a fork on the queen. The queen scrambles to block, but there's no stopping this bulldozer. White's attack just keeps rolling forward. White's pawn captures the queen. And just like that, the position collapses. It's a nightmare for black. The bishop takes the attacking pawn, but do you think the nightmare is over? Think again. Look at the other pawn. Watch how that poor bishop just vanishes from the board. Let's wrap up the first part of the Halloween Gambit, because honestly, white is completely winning here. Now, let's move to part 2. Do Grandmasters or more than 2,500 ELO players actually play this gambit? I searched the chess.com database for players rated over 2,500 ELO, and here's what I found. Only 4 recorded games. All of them were blitz, 3-minute chaos. And guess what? White won 3 out of 4. So yes, even at the highest level, some masters or grandmasters are unleashing the Halloween Gambit, and it still works. Let's review one of those games before we jump into how to counter the Halloween Gambit. The opening starts the same, all the way up to the knight sacrifice. d4. Here comes the classic pawn push, the trademark of the Halloween Gambit. The black knight has no choice but to retreat. The knight retreats back to g6, pushed completely off the center, hiding in the corner. e5. White pushes forward and the knight torture begins. This is classic Halloween Gambit chaos. The knight falls back once again, disappearing into the shadows. Bishop to c4. Look at this position. White is developing beautifully and black is undeveloping. d5. Look at this. Black gives up the d-pawn just to open the queen's front, trying to catch a breath. The bishop captures the pawn, and black immediately tries to chase it away with the c-pawn, but the bishop calmly retreats, preserving that critical diagonal aimed right at the f7 pawn. Black tries to develop the bishop to b4, looking for counterplay. But white stays cool and simply castles, completing development and keeping the initiative. Black is trying to bring those retreating knights back to life, but the valuable time is already gone. And remember, this is a blitz game. Every second counts. Look at this. The knights have almost no room to move. One simple attack and they're trapped. And here we go. Black castles. But that's a blunder. Why? Because those knights are about to be hunted down. g4. A thunderstrike. The trap is set and the knights are in trouble. Black jumps in with knight to g4. The chase is on. The knight hunt continues, and things are getting wild. Pawn to f5. The tension explodes. White's attack is rolling full steam ahead. Bishop to g5. Here comes the fork. The bishop is slicing back and forth, creating chaos. The black knight, cornered and desperate, says, "Fine, at least I'm taking one of these annoying pawns with me." Here we go. The black knight is gone. Now the black pawn tries to kick the bishop, desperate to break free, because that bishop is staring straight through the board, pinning the other poor knight to the queen. And the bishop calmly retreats back to h4, keeping the deadly pin alive. Black pushes the h-pawn, trying to open space for the rook, but in doing so, traps his own bishop. Then comes an offer to trade bishops, but white refuses. That bishop is far too valuable for the attack that's coming. Both bishops retreat to safety, but don't blink. The attack isn't over. Pawn to f6. White opens the diagonal, attacking both the knight and the g-pawn. Black responds with knight to d5. A clever move, preparing to fork the rook and the queen. But white immediately counters with queen to d3. And now, white is threatening checkmate. g6. Black tries to block the attack, throwing up a pawn wall in desperation. Queen to d3. Look at this. A spectacular attack is about to unfold. The black king tries to escape the dangerous g-file, but there's no real safety. White brings the other knight to f4, and the pressure keeps building. Black has no choice now. The knights must be exchanged. Black brings the bishop to e6, trying to support the f-pawn, but it's completely futile. Look at this. A spectacular bishop sacrifice for the attack. What a brilliant move. Black doesn't take it, and for good reason. The queen and rook are both waiting on that open file, ready to strike the moment it opens. Bam! Bishop to h6. Brilliant move number 2. One step closer to checkmate, the king's safety is completely falling apart. Boom! Bishop to g6. Another brilliant move. The discovered attack is brewing, led by the queen. Checkmate is inevitable. And just like that, the game is over. All right, now let's talk about how to counter the Halloween Gambit. When your opponent throws that early knight sacrifice at you, don't panic. Here's how strong players completely shut it down. It starts the same way. The knight sacrifice happens, but this time black keeps it calm and solid. Develop naturally, defend smartly, and don't fall into the traps. White pushes the pawn to d4. Time to back up your knight. Don't struggle, don't overthink it. Just fall back and stay solid. White pushes the e-pawn forward. Looks scary, but it's the same story. Just pull your knight back. No struggle, no panic, stay calm and solid. White brings the bishop forward, eyeing that weak f7 pawn, even planning to bring the queen next. Classic Halloween pressure. But you know what's coming, and you're ready for it. Bring your bishop to e6, a perfect counter move. But stay sharp. Those pawn pushes are dangerous. Remember the bulldozers from earlier? That pawn is charging, trying to fork your bishop and knight. Don't panic. We're hanging on to that first free knight, and yes, we've got the perfect move for that. Knight captures the e5 pawn. Not only does it escape the fork, but it also strikes back, attacking the white queen and the bishop in the process. A brilliant defensive move that turns defense into offense. But wait, the white bishop sneaks in with a check. A clever move to distract and avert the fork, buying just a moment of breathing room for white. Bishop to d5, mirroring white's move, calmly blocking the check. And don't forget, the white queen is still under attack from our knight. A perfect defensive counter that keeps all the pressure on white. And the white queen finally escapes. But black holds on to that first free knight with perfect precision. That's how you respond. Calm, solid, and always developing. I hope you enjoyed the Halloween Gambit, how higher-level players unleash it, and how to counter it. Don't forget to subscribe to Timur's Tactics. More epic chess breakdowns coming your way.